So, I believe we are live despite my dodgy connection today. So welcome everybody. Let's see, next stream is going to be on Tuesday, which is the 20th of May at 10 AM UK time. And so welcome to Manisco. It says only Manisco's in here. I don't believe this, so bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to refresh this. Okay, that looks better. So yes, that looks a lot better. I seem to be having problems today. So hi to Alex, hi to Julia, hi to Lando, hi to Manisco, hi to Nadia, hi to Oksana, hi to Patricia, hi to Tyfor, and hi to Vitali, and hi to Dawit as well. So let's go for it. Okay, yeah, I don't know if it's YouTube, I don't know if it's my connection, but well, anyway. So let's see. The elite criminal world, the men behind the Great Train Robbery. Hi keyword. Hi Victor, lovely to see you. So all you've got to do is guess the words to fit the gaps. Britain in the 1960s was captivated by the Great Train Robbery and the scale of the money stolen. High White Stripes was captivated by the news. Yeah. The sheer scale, that looks pretty good, Vitali. The heist, I would say the Great Train Robbery heist. The story is a good word. The event, I'm not very happy with the event. And the huge scale, yes. The exploits, the grand scale, yes. The unprecedented scale, good. So hi Patricia. By the story, says Alex. The story, says Julia. Okay, so let's have a look at the large scale, the unimaginable scale. So they were captivated by the daring of the Great Train Robbery, the incident, and the unexpected scale, the sheer scale. I like unexpected as well. So the Great Train Robbery, this was an important robbery. Sheer, absolute, total. By the Hi Manu. Let's see, sheer, absolute. It was a sheer disaster, utter, total. But when the accused men trial in April 1964, the judge was determined to send a message that crimes would not be tolerated. So hi Manu, stood for Vitali, stood and such for White Stripes, stood trial, says Julia, stood, says Nadia, unimaginable scale, says Patricia, stood trial, that similar crimes, good word as well, sheer, pure, sheer scale, sheer beauty, stood and showed, that showed crimes would not be tolerated. Stood for the first one, such for the second one, Nadia. Faced prosecution. Such heinous crimes, a good word, Julia. Stood, went on trial. That such crimes, good keyword, such crimes for Oksana, when they sat trial. I think sat would work. I think normally you stand trial, but sat would also work. Good to see you, Manu. So, when the accused men stood trial in 1964, the judge was determined to send a message that such crimes would not be tolerated. The assizes. Such crimes, let me put this. Hello, user. Good to see you, user. It's been a long time, Pepax. Okay, the judge sits and the accused stands. That's probably right, Alex. Yeah, such was to face trial. Face trial is a good verb as well. So 14 years later, several of the talk to the BBC. Yeah. It was a real embung. Unless the accused is vertically challenged. Okay. Several of the accused, several of the convicts. The accused, says Oksana. Participant, says Lando. Convicts, says Peter. Nadia goes for convicts. Hi, Sid. Hello, Darth Revan. Lovely to have you. Yeah, sit or stand. Okay, so 14 years later, several of the convicts. It's based on convicts, but of the accused, of the has-beens, of the jury, several of the convicted, no more, the convicted, Dawit, of the thieves, of the convicts. So it was the convicts, the outlaws. I think outlaws, the robbers. Robbers is a good word, Typhoon. The cons, the participants. Outlaws sounds rather Wild West, Manisco. The Wizard of English. Several of the perpetrators. Good word, Peter. Okay, on 16th April 1960, the miscreants, good word as well, Patricia. I like miscreants, it's a good word. On 16 April 1964, Robert Welch was one of the 12 men guilty of a notorious... So, found guilty, found for Vitaly and Lando and Julia and White Stripes, of a notorious robbery, says Lando. A notorious crime, says White Stripes. Pronounced guilty. Yeah, pronounced guilty would work. I think found guilty is more common, but certainly were found guilty, says Dawit, of a notorious crime. Found guilty, says Alex. Were found guilty in crime, says Pepax. Of a notorious felony. Problem is, felony is American. The Brits don't use felony. Heist, says Dawit, and I think Dawit's probably going to get an ice cream for that, if I remember correctly. Found guilty of a notorious crime, says Manu. Found, says Patricia. Notorious robbery, says Manu. Crime, wrongdoing. Stick up. Yes, Manisco, a hold up. A notorious transgression of a... So, notorious daredevil action. So, definitely, it was heist, and that's an ice cream for Dawit, definitely. Heist is also sort of US. The Brits use heist quite a lot as well. Felony is very, very American, though, misdemeanor. Belied. Guilty. No, found guilty. Found guilty, wrongdoing or crime. In Aylesbury Crown Court. "14 years later, in 1978, he was on the BBC's documentary and current programme Man Alive, and recalling seeing local dignitaries for positions in the courtroom to hear the sentencing. Yes, good collocation, Vitaly, definitely. Vying for, that's pretty good. Fighting for, I like that, Oksana. Jockeying for is a good word. Current events program. Events and vying, good, Peter. Current affairs, yes, Patricia, definitely. Current affairs, definitely. Dignitaries, important people. Important people. People of the status quo. Current concerns. It's current affairs, Dawit. Current affairs is the collocation. As a result of. Yes, to result from. As a result of. Yes. Lobbying for. No. Poll documentary. No. Jockeying for position. So pushing and shoving for position. Lobbying's not the right word. Scrambling for position. Yeah, reality show program. Pushing each other for position. Elbowing. Okay, elbowing's pretty good. Elbowing's almost there. Vying for Patricia. Vying for Julia. Current government program. No. Okay, so they were, yes, White Stripes. Well done. It's okay, Maurits. So, a sitcom, a current affairs program, and the dignities are jostling. Scrapping for. Scrapping's not bad either. Okay, they were jostling, they were pushing each other. Ice cream, definitely White Stripes. Anything, any flavour you want. This was what they had all come to watch. Of the play, the drama, Welsh said. And the medieval in which we were sentenced, you know, it was a bit chilling. Elbowing, yeah, definitely. Jostling with the elbow. The substance of the play. The denouement of the play. Wow, thank you, Upcycle. Gosh, what can I say? Thank you, Upcycle. The pinnacle, says Dawit. And the medieval state in which we were sentenced. Thank you, Upcycle. Thank you. The thrill of the play. The denouement, the climax. The climax for White Stripes and Dawit. The entertainment of the play, the medieval manner in which we were sensed. Jostle, pushing. Yeah, pushing and shoving. The thrill, the peak. Gordon Goody was the brainer. The gist, the plot of the play. So medieval surroundings. Because I think Aylesbury Crown Court, it looks very, very medieval. The medieval fashion, the medieval pomp. Setting for Nadia, and Nadia's going to get an ice cream for setting. The medieval setting in which we were sentenced. The climax of the apotheosis. It definitely works, Maurits. The medieval setting, the backdrop, says Vitali. The aura. Aura is, the medieval aura. I think I would accept aura, definitely. Well done, Nadia. So the medieval context, fashion is not... it fits, let's see, Oksana, it fits in the space. The medieval fashion in which we were sentenced. Yes, I think it certainly, it does fit, but it's just a different meaning. So, pinnacle, climax, zenith. the backdrop, the medieval setting. Welsh and his fellow convicts had fallen a long way since pulling off one of the most and thefts the UK had ever seen, the Great Train Robbery, the most daring. That's a good word, Vitaly. I can't remember what the first one is. I remember what the second one is, definitely. Daring and spectacular. Daring, audacious, bold and daring. These are all good words. Well done, DeWitt. Well done, Alex. One of the most notorious and greatest thefts. That's good, Lando. Repugnant and unprecedented. I guess they work. Don't trust. Daring and outrageous. Okay, I'm going to give you a second one. The second one means they got a lot of money from it. And they got a lot of money from it. Most fearless, good word, Nadia. Daring and egregious, I love it, Julia. The second one means a lot of money. Rewarding, good word. Audacious and meticulous for upcycle. I like upcycle. Profitable, lucrative for DeWitt and Patricia. So definitely ice creams for DeWitt and Patricia for lucrative. Lucrative for Maurits. Well done, Maurits. The most badass and profitable for Manu. I love it. Daring and opulent, lucrative. Profitable and profitable. It could be profitable. Retrieve. So one of the most audacious and lucrative. Audacious and lucrative. Expensive, no. Expensive is normally if they'd spend a lot of money putting it together. Opulent, no. An opulent building, an opulent setting. Yeah. Opulent is talking about wealthy. Yes, you get some ice cream money at least, Patricia. Okay. So, Welsh and his co-defendants were part of a band who? A Royal Mail night train travelling from Glasgow to London. High income. Opulent, yes. But opulent doesn't fit there. Yes, absolutely. Very good, Vitaly. Hijacked as well. Held up for Alex, yes. They didn't hijack the train. They hijacked the contents. Takes part. That looks pretty good to me, Manu. High echelon. Robbed bear. Incredible, spectacular for Typhoon. Successfully intercepted. Held up, says Julia. Ripped off, says Nadia. Okay, it's going to be took part in a royal... Stuck up. That's very good. Okay, held up. It's a hold up. Yeah? They held up the train. Travelling from Glasgow to London. Held captive, looting up. No, not quite. Infiltrate mail number GHT train. The robbers had with 2.6 million in used banknotes, a record at that time, and the equivalent of over 50 million today. The robbers had made off with a record amount. Good white stripes. Well done, Vitaly, Oksana, Alex, and white stripes. Had gotten off with No, neither of those work, Lando. Made off with, well done Lando, made off with for Julia. Absconded with, no off, don't trust. Infiltrate the Royal Mail train. They didn't infiltrate it, they held it up. Yeah, spoilt your broth, lol lol. They absconded with the money. They had run off with. I guess it would work. 3 Haken Das. A record high. A record feat. Made off, definitely Patricia. Had got away with. Had got away with, made off with. Had headed off with. But what about this second one? A record high at that time. No, high would be talking about taking drugs or something like that. A record this is a good word. This is an interesting word. A record accumulation. A record unbroken. A record feat. A record booty. Booty's the best so far. A record made at that time. A record loot. A record capture. The amount that you get and you bring in. Accomplishment. Loot. Held at that time. Not quite. A record prey. Nope. A record pillage. Swag is a good word as well, Oksana. The amount that you get in. Hint. Begins with H and it's 4 letters. H and it's 4 letters. High fella. Bounty. A mountie. Record breaking. Record hold. No Vitali. That's it, Dawit. A record haul. Well done, Nadia. A record haul. It's a haul. A haul, yes, White Stripes. A record haul, yes, Oksana. A record haul at that time. So the haul is the amount that you get, is what you get, the haul. Yeah, the haul from the heist. Okay, so a record haul at the time. At the time of Welsh's trial, police were hunting for 3 of the people they suspected had been in the crime. Very good, Dawit. Actively. Who had been complicit. I love that word, complicit. Is a really good word, White Stripes. Were looking, hunting. Had 2 complicit in. Had participated in. Actively hunting. Who had been part in. Part in doesn't work very well. Actively for the first one. Had been complicit. Still involved. Still involved, yes. Had been implicated. Good word, Peter. Had been futile. Were futilely hunting. Good word. Who they suspected had been involved. Was still an involved for Alex. That's pretty good. Had been involved. Involved for Vitali. Were still for Julia. Partners in the crime. Partners works. Definitely Patricia. Complicit for don't trust. Involved for Julia and Nadia. So, party to the crime. I quite like as well. They were still hunting for these people who they were actively It needs to be an adverb, Maurits. They were actively hunting for 3 of the people they suspected had been involved in the crime. Involved, syndicated. To execute this carefully robbery, 15 members of 2 of London's biggest criminal gangs had worked together, each with a particular role in the plot. So planned, yes, definitely. It's a better word than planned, but yes. We're still involved, good Typhoon. Constructed, yes. Well done, Alex, for the second one. Ice cream for Alex for the second one. Well done, Alex, that's really good. So, pivotal. Each pivotal with a particular role. Yes, don't trust. Carefully planned. Each assigned. Good work, White Stripes. Planned for Patricia. Organised for Dawit. Planned and for Vitali is good. Assigned for Lando. Each tasked. That's the second one. It's a really good word. Carefully crafted robbery. Well done, Alex. Yes. Carefully plotted and tasked for keyword. Okay. Well done, Stuart Ray. I don't believe it. Orchestrated. So welcome, Stuart, and you get an ice cream for orchestrated, because that's the right word. Each executed with well done, Stuart. I'm impressed. Carefully planned, carefully classified, orchestrated. Yes. Each abetted, allotted with a particular role. Yes, Patricia. Okay, so this carefully. And Ronnie Biggs, who did this. There are lots of films about this. The film Buster. Let's see. Ronnie Biggs escaped from prison and then went to live in Brazil for many years. Designated as well, but to execute this carefully orchestrated robbery, each tasked with a particular role. That was really good. They were regarded as of the criminal world, said Reginald Abyss, who had the crime for the BBC as a young reporter. Aces, elite, as the gems, the leaders, covered definitely Vitali. Linchpins, had covered for Oksana. So I think I'm definitely an ice cream for Oksana for her first answer. The Vanguard, good word, Stuart, who covered, yes, Alex. They had enormous. High Gul, no. The masterminds, good word, Peter, as he covered leading gangs, the kings, who had committed the crime, who had covered the crime, had reported on the crime. Okay, so ice cream for Oksana for the first one. Elite, that's the point. Well done, Patricia. Elite, you're going to get an ice cream for that as well, Patricia. Hi, Polly, lovely to see you. Lovely to have you, Polyglot. The creme de la creme, the elite of the criminal world, says Reginald Abyss, who covered the crime for the BBC as a young reporter. Elite, that's it. Masterminds, works very nicely, Julia. You had to have a certain talent and audacity, certain abilities to be able to pull a heist of this. And they came because they needed a multitude of talent. Scale, magnitude, good words. Well done, Oksana and Vitali. report on, Julia, of this caliber, good word Lando, this scale, says Alex, this stature, says White Stripes. They came victorious, but they all got caught, Oksana. That's the sad thing about this. Of this scale. That's Manu. Of this level, says Malditz. Of this scale, says Patricia. At this heist of this level, says Malditz. Sendad says level. Together, says Lando. They came indeed. Well done, Lando. They came together. Dawit says came together. I think I'm going to give an ice cream to Lando for came together. Well done, Lando, and well done, Dawit, as well. Magnitude, of this magnitude. Magnitude for Mazzino. Of this scope. Okay. A heist of this magnitude. They came together. Yes. So well done, Lando. You got that one first. That came together. Thank you very much, Amabia. I've been pretty consistent for a very long time. Kingpin. A criminal kingpin is a very good word as well. The daring robbery, just after 3 a.m. on 8th of August 1963. Well done, Lando. Came about. Yes, Vitali. Took place, says White Stripes. Took place, says Alex. I got together, so an ice cream, definitely an ice cream for you, Dawit, as well, because you and Lando were almost at the same time. Was the daring robbery was executed? Yes, Don't Trust. Took place, says Nadia. Occurred. Took place, says Peter. Hi, ABH. Hi, Gull. Took place, occurred, happened, says Mazzino. Took place just after. A multitude of talent, but with a myriad of hints left. It took 2 weeks to arrest them. Was brought about. No, it took place, as Manu says. Yeah, the daring robbery took place just after. Unfolded dramatically. I love that, Patricia. That's very good. You're adding an adverb to make it more interesting. Was hatched. I guess was hatched would work as well, but normally hatching is talking about the idea was begun, unfurled, came into action, went off. So the first batch the criminals had taken, was to cut the phone lines to stop an alarm being. The first step, good word, Oksana. The first action, stop the alarm being activated. The first move, the first step, an alarm being sounded. That's not bad, Oksana. The first precaution to stop it being set off for Peter. The first movement, the first step. The first phase is a good word, ABH. The first step the criminals had taken was to stop the alarm being triggered. Good work, Mazzino. The first stand, the first action. Hi, Indigit. Great to see you. The first move the criminal had taken. First. So nobody's got the second one, definitely, and I can't remember the first one. I think it's probably something like step. An alarm being gone off, being sounded works. To the alarm. An alarm being prompted, being activated, being heard, being gone off, no, going off. Ranged, no. Triggered is a very good word, Mazzino. The first measure, the criminals, an alarm being triggered. That's very good, Mazzino. Being set off. Tintabulated. Rung. Raised. Well done, Dawit. Ice cream for Dawit there, definitely. The first step the criminals had taken was to cut the phone lines to stop an alarm being raised. Raised. Yeah, to raise the alarm. A prison escape, and then something out of a movie. This one, Nadia, there are probably 10 films about this. Most of them about Ronnie Biggs. Thought raised had more to raise the alarm. To raise the alarm. They then, being raised, the alarm being raised, to raise the alarm is a collocation keyword. They blocked the train signals to stay red. Hi Fernando Ojete. Then they blocked the train signal to stay red. They turned to stay red. No. Well done, Don't Trust. They rigged. That's an ice cream for Don't Trust, very definitely. They set the train signals. Set is a good word. Stymied, no, because to stymie is to stop someone. Don't Trust gets an ice cream for this one, very definitely. Then they rigged the signals to stay red. Jammed, they rigged, to fix. Yeah, they rigged the signals to stay red. Adjusted, intercepted, these are good, not bad. So rigged is to make something do something unfairly, you fix it. They rigged it to stay red. They put a glove over the green light. A cheap battery to the red light. And this, of course, meant the driver had to slow up, said Abyss. Thank you, Mazzino. Very kind of you. So, a cheap battery to the red light. Inserted a cheap battery corresponding. Fiddled a cheap battery with. Put. Installed. Added. Attached for Stuart. Introduced. Attached. Battery, lamp, torch. A cheap battery, torch. Attached a cable. So, that's really good, Peter. Attached a cheap battery cable. So, what is the word for this, for electricity? For attach a cable. To attach a cable. Installed, they fixed. They worked like an electrician. Well done, Dawit. Yes, that's it. Wired. That's it, Oksana. To wire up. To wire up. Okay, they wired up a cheap battery to the red light. To wire a cable. To wire up. This up doesn't mean... They wire the cheap battery to the red light. They wired up. Okay, they wired up a cheap battery. The red light. The train's driver, Jack Mills, stopped the engine, and his co-driver, David Whitby, climbed out to use the phone to find out what the problem was. Well done, Oksana. Put into. No, put into doesn't work. It's wiring up to wire up. Well done, Oksana. Well done, Alex. The emergency phone. Good word. Seeing, says Nadia. Seeing the red light, says Manu. Good for Nadia. Good for Manu. Observing. Use it, the red light. The train phone. That's not bad. Okay, the second one means next to the railway line. Witnessing the red light, yes. Next to the track. On seeing, yes. I agree with you, White Stripes. The train phone. The emergency phone. The adjacent phone. The track phone. Track. That's half an ice cream, Patricia. Track side. That's it, Nadia. The mobile phone. In 1963, no mobile phones, I can guarantee you. Inserted a cheap battery. Okay. Used the emergency phone, the trackside phone, to find out what the problem was. Telly. Okay, this is going to be the last one for today, I think. That's when Whitby discovered that the line had been cut, and he was by masked men wearing boiler suits. Pushed aside, yes. Bundled up is a good phrase. Set upon, that's brilliant, Alex. Physically incapacitated, good, White Stripes. Set up, it needs to be the upon that White Stripes use. He was scuffled. There was a scuffle, it's normally a scuffle, and he scuffled with masked men. Was consequently assaulted, was pinned down, was tied and muzzled. Tied and gagged. Normally gagged instead of muzzled, Oksana. Okay, there's definitely an ice cream that's been won here. Killed and sacrificed. No, they didn't kill anybody. Tied up by masked men is a good phrase. Physically assaulted by Maurits. Okay, here it comes. Was set upon. Ice cream for Alex again. Well done, Alex. He was set upon. Okay, to set upon, to attack. He was attacked by masked men wearing boiler suits. Okay, enough for today. Next stream is on Tuesday, which is going to be the 20th of May at 10 a.m. UK time on robbery. Let's see. The people you need to look up with this are Ronnie Biggs, and there was a film called Buster as well. Thank you, Darth. And there are at least 10 different films about this, plus documentaries. Okay, so thank you all for coming. It's been great having you all. A special thank you to Upcycle. Thank you to Alex L. Thank you to Darth Reven. Thank you to Dawit. Thank you to Don't Trust. Thank you to Julia and Keyword and Lando and Manisco. Thank you to Gull. Thank you to Manisco and Manu and Maurits and Nadia and Oksana. Thank you to Patricia and Peter and Sid. Thank you to Stuart and Vitali and to White Stripes. It's been a pleasure having you all. Have a great weekend, all of you. It was great. Take care, and I'll see you all on Tuesday.